Since the 1960s, the life expectancy in the U.S. has dropped for the past 2 years in a row. So the issue is our health insurance. The health insurance in America is not very good and is one of the worst systems out of all the developed countries. There may even be some of you in the audience that do not have health care, and there's not much that you can do about it. There's nearly 27 million Americans without health insurance due to various things. Most of them simply can't afford it. Some of them live in a state that didn't expand Medicaid. So the problem is that the healthcare here in America is not good, and it needs to be addressed by the government. It's not an issue in most other developed countries, and it can affect any one of us living here. There's a story here by Anne Breenoff of the Huffington Post, who wrote an article in 2016 about her husband being hospitalized. The doctor that was seeing him told her that her husband would need to see a different specialist. Here's where the problem lies. The other specialist was not a network person for her insurance, which means she would not be able to afford him. She also talks about doctors that came to look at him and stayed in the room for no more than 90 seconds and ended up sending her a bill because nobody let her know that her insurance plan didn't cover those doctors. Healthcare in America is almost like highway robbery, and it needs to be fixed. Okay, so the issue in America is not just about health insurance either. According to the New York Post, close to 200,000 people die per year in America because of medical error. It's the third leading cause of death in America, and it occurs in an area where you're supposed to be getting better, but the person that is being paid to save your life screws it up. So I have some specific cases here. In 2006, there was a young woman in Ohio named Trina Batchel who was pregnant and having health problems. She had gone to a clinic before she was pregnant and while uninsured and had a large balance due. They refused to see her until she paid $100, which she did not have, and she ended up driving to a hospital more than 30 miles away and ended up dying along with the baby because it was too late at that point. There's another story like this. It also happened in 2006. It was about a young woman named Monique White who was up one night with skin lesions and swelling in her stomach. She begged her mother to take her to the emergency room, but she basically refused because they didn't have health care. And she ended up going to the emergency room the next day and ended up dying in the next few months. And another story in the mid-2000s about a young teen who was diagnosed with leukemia. It eventually went into remission, but ended up relapsing and requiring a bone marrow transplant. Her liver ended up failing due to a blood clotting complication, and she ended up dying by age 17. The problem with this story is the fact that her insurance said that they would cover the transplant and then ended up rejecting her. The child died because of an insurance company's ignorance. So there was a testimony on National Public Radio in June of 2017 by Dr. Rob Stone. He believes that healthcare has improved slightly in the last few years with the Affordable Health Care Act. He also thinks that co-pays and deductibles are too high for people who are not on Medicaid. He says it often leaves people underinsured when they come in for procedures and they are not able to afford it. The healthcare in America affects all of us here today. You may be insured today, but you have no idea what the future holds. What happens when you find yourself underinsured, and you can't afford the procedure needed to help or save your life? This is the ongoing problem here in America that needs to be corrected. So one of the things that the U.S. can do is look at other developed countries and see what they're doing and try to fix it. One good example is the Netherlands. Healthcare is considered a social service in their country, and it is required to be purchased by all citizens. So what the government does is provide subsidies to the health insurance providers and forces them to charge the same price for everyone regardless of their health history. This significantly helps the people who need the insurance more than the others because they can afford the care that they need. When you look at the numbers for the Netherlands compared to the US, their life expectancy is much better, their health care is much better, there's a lot less unnecessary deaths. The reason it's better there is because it's much more affordable and is required to be purchased by everyone. Everybody gets the same plans for the same prices, regardless of past issues, and everybody pays into the same money pool so anybody can get operation done that they needed. There's not much that you can do yourself other than to try to obtain better health insurance for yourself or convince your job to provide better health insurance. You can also sign petitions forcing the government to investigate these issues or vote the right people into office that would fix these issues. If the government doesn't fix the healthcare in America, the effects will be enormous. The government fixes the healthcare, the effects will be enormous. People will be receiving the care that they need, and there will be much less unnecessary deaths. Everybody will be a lot healthier because of it, and the life expectancy would most definitely start to go back up like it should be. If the government doesn't fix the healthcare, we're basically done for. The healthcare will only get worse and worse and won't stop declining. Our life expectancy will continue to drop like it has over the past 2 years. We will see more and more unnecessary deaths. All in all, this is something that we absolutely do not want to happen because it affects all of us living here. So, to conclude, the healthcare here is not good. I mean, it just basically needs to be fixed. And even if this doesn't affect you too much, you have to think about the next generation, think about the kids. Do you want them to live in a country that could care less about their health?